enjoying our hackathon day immensely.
Yeah.
Let me just close my window as I can hear some police sirens. All going down this afternoon. Lots of police sirens and no idea why.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining.
My pleasure. Yeah. Well, so we have 26 participants, right? So I only saw 3, but I just noticed the number, on the button.
Yes. No, we have 26. Brilliant. Well, look, thanks so much for coming. So, the context for today is, we said in our calls is we're running this hackathon as part of our engagement with the Eastern Energy Project, looking to explore how decentralized personal data can be used to drive decarbonization, new business models, new behaviors, new insights. Our hackathon teams are currently hard at work forming their ideas, but at the same time as that, to help inspire and enthuse them, we have this educational stream, the expert stage as we call it. And yeah, it's a chance to inform and enthuse people about some interesting ideas. So we're very, very grateful to have you with us, talking about decarbonization, decentralization, blockchain, and the sustainability opportunities that has. Great to have you with us. So this is Professor Xiong from the University of Surrey. Professor, please, I hand the floor to you.
Okay, thank you. So I may share my slide, right? So let me.
Yes, absolutely.
Let me find my slides. Okay. Okay. So can you see?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
Blockchain and new business models.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, today, because only 15 minutes talk and maybe another 15 minutes Q&A. So, but it's a huge topic, as you know. So I try to talk some part of relevant issues that are in my mind, and I feel maybe I can talk for hours, and I'm happy to discuss after the session. Yeah. So I will talk about some of the recent news and some of my research. I talk about some possible business models, and I also talk about some possible funding opportunities that could maybe support your ideas. I think since it's hackathon, new ideas coming, you may want to get some more mentoring and funding. Yeah. So I'm in University of Surrey as a professor for business analytics, also a director with the Center for Innovation and Commercialization. And in the university, I'm associated in international to look after the 3 faculties international collaboration. So that's my 3 role in university. However, I have I'm on the company board of more than 20 companies as a non-executive director or managing director or chairman. So I believe that some of my resources might be useful for the team. So go to the next. So basically, we have to change. We have to respond to the new information, new regulation, new law, and nobody can avoid this if you want to do a proper business. Okay, so everyone have to pay attention to environment. Not sure how many of you read this news about Tesla to have to Elon Musk have to be forced to say he would no longer accept Bitcoin as the transaction method. So basically, he is under huge pressure because of recently growing critics of Bitcoin consuming huge energy. So even say Tesla is doing something very environmentally free, it's electricity cars, but anything that related that have consumed energy, so this damage to the company image, And in most of the articles, they make one article in Nature. Basically, most of the press mentioned this paper. Actually, this is my paper. Okay, so if you go to, so basically, I work with the US and China for this research. I'm the only researcher in the UK. So this is become one of the most influential paper in globally this year. Okay, so and I was told that I'm not saying Elon Musk made the decision because of our paper, but this is the most important paper this year. Yeah, so everyone acknowledge, and in myself, my entire life, I never see any score, influential score. They call the altmetrics. So basically, the impact of the paper reach more than 1,000. I never see any article in Nature or Nature series higher than 1,000. But this is my paper, 1,500. So if you check many Nature's huge publication, huge influential, that as only as influential as maybe 500, not many of them. This is why this topic is so important. We need to change business behavior. It's for the business future, okay? And only yesterday, so we are selected by Wikipedia of the 2021 Science. So only list a number of influential research published in the top journals, and we are selected only a couple of UK research selected. But anyway, this is to say that please pay attention to this. If not, this bring damage to your company, because consider carbon emission will affect every part of your business. So you have to think about who you want to work with. It's not only about yourself. Even say you are producing, manufacturing electricity cars, which is a completely good thing, you know. So, but if you work with some suppliers or some partners or some customers that consume too much emission, okay, so your company is in danger, okay. But once there is opportunity. So basically, we were talking about the opportunities. So basically, you need to pay attention to yourself, pay attention to your company strategy, pay attention to your suppliers, and pay attention to your customer. Okay, so it's important, and especially after COP26, I can tell you there are more opportunity coming and more pressure to traditional business model. Okay, so data should be included in. So we require that there are, we call it scope 1, scope 2. Scope 1, we talk about the company's emissions. Scope 1, of course, I think you're expert here, so we will know that they talk about your own emissions, about how much your cars or your vehicles, how much consumed, transportation. And then you also talk about your consumption of electricity, internal consumption, or you consume scope like your heating, right? So this two seems easy to manage for your carbon emission. However, unfortunately, scope 3, not many companies, 95% of the companies, they could not measure them. So that's a problem, and that's also the business opportunity. If you can anything help measure the scope 3, this is a huge business opportunity. I believe I already see many companies this year, even in pandemic, many companies focus on this area, and they start to make money. Okay, so this is why it's important and to measure the scope 3 carbon emission. Okay, so now we have a blockchain. Before, it's not easy to measure, it's because we don't have blockchain technology. We don't know how to track them. Even say we tracked, how we can believe the data is true. Okay, so in this case, we need to rely on new technology. Well, luckily, at this time we will talk about the carbon emission on blockchain. We have a blockchain technology. Yeah, so basically, blockchain can enable the whole supply chain system, carbon emission measure, and also can help trading, make many things feasible because it's decentralized, give credit to individuals, to individual companies, individual person. So that's important. Before, we have to use some centralized approach to manage, and which means that it can be modified. Okay, maybe some data maybe not so reliable, and the cost is very, very high. You have to pay the centralized body, you know. So of course, everybody knows this diagram. So every picture here, every item of the 17 SDGs represent a business opportunity. If we look carefully about what the opportunity would be, so one-to-one with blockchain. So we'll find many things that our group, particular group, would do low carbon with business ideas in helping sustainability. Okay, such as helping more people to achieve poverty. Okay, so sorry, to poverty relief. Okay, so in China, it's very good that the country achieved the poverty relief by I think all the, because they give us a very strong policy and the funding mechanism to enable people to get out of poverty. Yeah. But anyway, China uses a very strong government to move this. What about other countries? How can we manage the system? Okay, so blockchain is reliable and can monitor the whole process. So more people, if we with a blockchain system, with a creditable system, more people want to do these things. They don't want the money give to, they intend to give to some poor people, but someone in the middle to steal the money. Okay, so enable transparency, reliability. Yeah. For example, if you ask me to donate something to the fund to say help poor people, I don't want to, because I'm not sure how they want to make use of my money. I even give £1,000. So whether that £1,000 really helps some poor children, I don't know. But with blockchain, I will know where my £1,000 go. I will always check. I have more motivation to donate. Okay. Of course, zero hunger is also similar. Okay. The data, we need to get very accurate data. And of course, good health, well-being. Yeah. Traditionally, it's a hospital control all the data and centralize the control. But we want to give the data to the patient. You know, many medical equipment company or pharmaceutical company, they buy the data from the hospital. Okay. But the data should belong to the patient. So, but with blockchain, we can decentralize the storage to the patient. It's the patient to say whether I want or do not want to share my personal data. I know the data is valuable for the companies. You know, and of course, the same apply to many other sectors. We want the user control the data, personal data. I think Data Swift is doing something really, really impressive in this regard. And of course, quality education is a SDG 4, and we want to use blockchain to get personalized data and deal with using AI to monitor the data, response to the data, and give personalized education opportunity. Before, only some certain people afford some customized, personalized education, you know. But now we want everyone to get this. Okay, of course, gender equality is also important. So we can form new governance to ensure that every process in the job interview, in the panel of the board, and so basically we want gender equality there, and only using some reliable technology can make the process transparent. And we also have clean water and sanitation, and basically we develop more blockchain technology with the AI. Okay, so and the clean energy as well. So we mentioned about the energy trading, yeah, affordable clean energy. So we encourage more people. They can use some solar panel or wind turbine at their own house, you know, I have several friends. They already installed wind turbine in the garden of their house, and they can self-supply, and their data is stormed. But sometimes the data is not reliable. But with blockchain, so link the data integrated with the national grid, so and they get paid. So this is very interesting. I have many experts working on this. Actually, I remember that one of the leader of the ED project, Alex, so he is an expert in this area. And of course, we will have a decent work and economic growth. So, and the blockchain is a very important place. I don't want to repeat all the 17 because of the time constraint. I only talk about the first half, but there are many things depend on our imagination and what we can solve with the blockchain because of its decentralization feature, because of its transparent traceability. So enable and empower individuals. Empower individuals is very important for this concept. Any business, you can help people to empower them. You will make money. Okay. So, well, so some other examples like this company Binding. Sorry. So this copyright model is very influential already. So because that not many people can afford to register their creations. Yeah. So there is a simple easy upload your inventions, your creations, and make them stormed in this website, and you get a certificate. And every time if needed, if you go to court, this is strong evidence. People believe that the blockchain technology, and they have legal implication. Okay, so of course, with this one, the cost reduced and also the service improved, and it's 24/7 monitoring of your product or image. Yeah, and instant alert if anyone wants to steal your image. That's very interesting. Actually, myself, I have a platform called PXB. I should move there. It's also to protect low-cost protection of the pictures, photos. Yeah, so I don't want to go to too much details because of time constraint. It's another company that focuses on using blockchain technology to protect everyone's work about robot and AI, and they want to reduce the cost because of the invention, yeah, and promote innovation. So this hit several SDGs. Innovation is one of the SDG. Okay. Well. Okay. So basically, this is what blockchain could do. I think if you have some idea, what from my side, there is something may help you. First one, maybe I'm working with the largest IP company which run in China and the US, protect your IP. And if you have any idea, invention, blockchain invention, but you may not necessarily have, I recently invested a company, but they cannot afford to register IP, it's 25K, but they have several IP. They only get an investment of 200K. How can they spend 100K to IP only, right? So this company, I'm working with them. I'm actually there on their board. They're a multi-billion company, and they can fund your IP registration for free. If you focus on sustainability and blockchain, this sort of sectors we feel interested, we can fund you because we want to promote this sector, and we can have some commercial terms, but definitely it's good for you to protect your IP. And then this is our model to help a business grow. And then after this, you have IP behind, you will get much easier to get investors, okay, because you have a uniqueness. Okay, without this, investors feel hesitation, okay, because they think, okay, that's the only idea, everybody can have idea. But if you have an IP, so they get confident, okay. Then we can talk to some external funding bodies like Ingi Group. This is a company invested 200K to 500K for the home office innovator visa, and to help your business grow with IP. And so this is the largest to get the international investors. I'm also on the board of this particular company. And then after this one, you already have something solid, and then we go to VCs. And so for the IPrang and the indie group is something that we feel we are special business model to help startups. And eventually what we could do, again, special, different from the existing ecosystem, that we could bring your technology to the Chinese market, because you are well protected, you already grow a good stage, go to the stage, and we have an innovation center in the UK focus on bring your business to China, and the Chinese government may give you another $500,000 to $1 million, okay, for the innovation project. So basically, this is a pathway for any project focused on blockchain and sustainability. So because Chinese government they produced they promised 2060 to reach carbon neutral. So basically, that's a huge promise, So we can provide you mentor and the funding to fund a sustainable business. Well, this is IPrang in UK. The program we call the IP place. We are in many cities of China. This is a service we provide. And if anyone want to copy your IP, we can fight the lawsuit for you for free. Many people, they are afraid. Okay, so it's very costly. The lawyer, you talk 1 hour, it's about £500, But here, free. Anyone want to copy your IP, so we fight for you, and we get the money back for you, and we get a share. So this is how IPrang work. So basically, no matter you are a startup company or mature company or universities, basically there is different model for this particular company. Well, this is the indie group. I said the 200K to £500,000 from the UK, from the Home Office Innovator Visa. And there are some Chinese government. Finally, I think I already used all the 15 minutes, but can I use, briefly introduce that?
Absolutely.
So another few minutes about this concept. I'm building up a concept. So with blockchain and the spirit of Magna Carta. Okay. So basically 800 years ago, when King Xiong, as you can see from Wikipedia, he's kidnapped to this island. He was forced to sign the Magna Carta, the Great Charter, which significantly changed the whole world, not only UK, but the world. So, and after that, so this is the first time we see political power decentralization, okay? But blockchain is a financial power decentralization and the technology power decentralization. So we think the spirit of Magna Carta should be applied in blockchain and sustainability. So that's why we acquired this particular island. So we 100% own this island. It become private. Queen Elizabeth II, our queen now, planted a tree, okay, on this island. It's very beautiful. It's just close to the Heathrow Airport. And we want to use this island to build up a consensus, because we own the consensus. We know that Magna Carta have a huge impact. And so basically we have a small museum on this island, talk about the history already, and working with the base, working with the catapults. And also we have an education forum with 15 UK's vice chancellor and the pro vice chancellors. We want to build rich consensus. And finally, we set up a foundation called the Magna Carta World Peace and the Sustainability Foundation. And we want to echo more voice about the focus on consensus and the sustainability. And because of this, we can bring more harmonious society and the world. Yeah, so, well, so that's my presentation. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that. That was a really interesting and diverse talk. Yeah, covered a lot of ground, and really interested to hear about the opportunities of blockchain and some of the myriad of things you've been involved with. I think for me, listening on the blockchain side of things, I had a sort of question, which is, on one hand, as that paper of yours, which has got so much salience recently, as that paper indicated, blockchain has gigantic gigantic energy consumption profile.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, there's this long list of use cases of blockchain that could be used in some level of decarbonization, be that better audit or sourcing things better in supply chains or what have you, some component of the SDGs. How do we try and balance this apparent contradiction? Is there any method of processing the blockchain that could be less computationally intensive? Is there any way that the computation itself could have less of a high energy consumption need? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because it's kind of our previous talk was all about how one of the things it mentioned was that when people start doing green things, like say on a very small example, having energy saving light bulb, they might then switch on all the lights in their house because they know they're saving energy. But of course, because they switch on all the light bulbs, they're actually not saving energy anymore. They're using more than when they had one energy intensive light bulb. And I sort of wonder in the blockchain use case, if everyone's using blockchain, which they know is better, maybe for decarbonization, also for trust and verification, all that, what then about this compute need and the energy profile that comes out of that? I don't know, is there any comment you could make on that?
I think I didn't catch your example about the light. So you keep the lights open and you switch on, right? So sorry, I think some break in my side, the internet. So can you
yes, sure. So I was saying, so on one hand, we know that blockchain is very energy intensive, or at least Bitcoin is in particular, I guess.
Yes.
We know that on the other hand, that broadly considered blockchains could be useful for a whole range of decarbonization relevant innovations and processes.
Yeah.
The example I had was a particular paradox that can be observed with some energy saving tools.
Yeah.
Whereas because people start using an energy saving tools and it's more efficient, they actually end up starting using more energy because they're like, oh yeah, it's okay, we're saving energy. Like, so you have,
I understand your point now.
Yeah, like energy saving light bulb and switching on all the lights in the house. So I wondered if in the blockchain use case, that might end up happening. If we converted to blockchain, if we end to save energy and decarbonize and trust things more, if we could end up using more energy. So the question is, lengthily, I finally get to it, is there any way that the energy consumption profile of blockchain itself can be reduced or offset at all? Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I think indeed that the blockchain have to consume a lot of energy, but this will see how much energy it will save. So, for example, Bitcoin, people said, okay, Bitcoin, they already save a lot of energy because they do not require a building to run a central office for like running a central bank, So, and also do not require a human resource. But anyway, so I think that's depend on how much you really, how deep you want to measure the consequence of applying the technology. So for blockchain, I still believe that it can help more about energy reduction than it consume, because we can always improve the energy consumption structure. We can in the hardware side, the energy consumption of the hardware side, we can always require. In my paper about the Bitcoin mining, so we advised that it's more beneficial to give site regulations, basically force this mining pool to be set up in some renewable energy area rather than in coal energy area.
I see.
Yeah. So basically, we should regulate them, ensure that to the blockchain technology or Bitcoin mining sector, they should reach carbon neutral as a demonstrable sector, because it's much easier than other sectors to reach carbon neutral in this particular sector. We want to demonstrate the benefit rather than demonstrate the negative impact. And plus, we have a smart contract. We have many AI can work with the blockchain. So the example you gave about the lamp, and so basically, if yes, it consumes less energy, but let's use it for long. But we should set up a protocol, set up the algorithm to ensure that which is the best when to switch it on and when to switch off it. So basically, we can integrate all this in the blockchain smart contract to enable us, because what we want is that we sometimes become lazy, so we turn the light, we think it's low consumption AI to control it. And also algorithm side, we also improve our algorithm maybe from the POW to POA. So basically, this is consume much less energy when we develop blockchain applications. From software and hardware, we have multiple approach to regulate the application and force the reduction. And I think there is chance for us to really make the cryptocurrency mining or blockchain carbon emission sector to be the first sector that reach carbon neutral. Because of the nature of the sector, it's easy to reach.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that. On the level of community smart grids, community level organization, local solar resources, household solar resources, indeed, energy storage and various other generation tools. Do you know of any blockchain-based projects currently in place that are currently sort of integrating with local grids or with household level resources? Be interesting to learn more about them if you do.
I am aware of many such technologies. Even recently, I'm talking to Huawei Energy. I'm advisor to them. People only know Huawei for 5G and for telecommunications. But they are very, very good at Huawei Energy, but very low key. They don't want people keep eye on them on this business again. But anyway, they already rank #1 in the world for providing the energy solutions with AI and blockchain technology. So I think, but apart from Huawei, there are many other people. They already develop the technologies. But Huawei definitely have the maybe the most advanced one currently. But many other interesting solutions to ensure that the decentralized data in the national grid, in your private grid, or they can be compatible with each other and they are creditable.
Interesting. We've got one question, and then I will call an end to the session as we're now over time. It's another blockchain one, that's specifically Bitcoin in this instance, from anonymous attendee. Thank you, anonymous. So it's Bitcoin's proof of work block reward mechanism creates an unparalleled incentive to find more and more cost-effective renewable energy sources. Proof of stake lacks this means of incentive. How do you see this reconciling as proof of stake becomes more popular?
Well, I think we definitely need to reconcile all this. But for Bitcoin, the algorithm already there. So we don't know how to really make huge changes unless we have to use law and the regulations to force them to the mining pool all in the renewable energy area. But for the how can I say, for the POS, well, I think there is some, we can consider maybe POA, I don't know, so probable authorities, so some other different models. We need to compare which one is more suitable for the other cryptocurrency mining. But for Bitcoin, if we only talk about the Bitcoin's POW, so basically it's already there. So the mechanism, the reward is important. We definitely need to carefully design to reward the people who mining, reward the people who help with transactions. But there is no easy solution. I'm happy to discuss in more details about the different algorithms or different model.
Excellent.
Thank you for the question.
Well, thank you. Whoever asked that question, and thank you for the answer. Well, we're now over time. Professor, thank you very much for coming to address us. It's a pleasure to hear about your views on blockchain and what you've been up to. And I look forward to working further together as we both proceed with our respective engagements in the Eastern New Energy Programme, of which, of course, this hackathon is a part. You're very welcome, if you have free time, to come and hang out in the hackathon Slack, either right now or at any point later in the weekend, and indeed to come and listen into any of the other talks on the expert stage if you have time and interest.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Lovely. All right, well, once more, thanks very much for joining us. And to the rest of you, I hope you found that an interesting talk. We're now going to take a break on the expert stage. I urge you all to have fun coding up and thinking through your project ideas. Thanks very much.